Hi everyone, we are going to be doing probably all of the designs from this page here. This is from Small Victories by Johanna Basford, and what I've been asked to do by someone is to explain how I use a photograph of an item to pick colours and then layers of colour in order to make it look sort of slightly realistic. So I have found a stock photograph of every fruit on this page. I had to guess some of them, but it doesn't matter. And I thought I would take each one and explain how I look at the photo and use that to choose what I do. So I'm going to start today with the orange. Let's come in nice and close to our orange. But I'm going to show you my photo. It's not going to fit in view very well. Hang on, let's go there for now. So you can see I picked a photo which has got the cut orange, the leaves, the flower and the fruit. It's a stock image from Getty. And we can have a look at the colours and use them for this. I need to come out a little bit so we can see it all in shot. I don't want my picture being too near the edge of the page. In fact, I am going to do it like that. I think that's okay. We can come in a little closer. There we go. So where I would first go is I would look at the fact that the flowers are white and have a little panic, but I'm not going to leave those. Let's have a look at the main skin of the fruit. We've got this slightly knobbly effect which Johanna has drawn on for us. We've got some light shining here, yeah. And it's darker here than at the top. So those are the things that I'm noticing to start with, and then I'm going to look at the colour, and we've got this quite a nice bright warm orange. I've got my Polychromos. I picked those because I want lots of colours to choose from. Now I'm not going to dive straight in with this dark orange. I'm going to go a little bit lighter and then build up the colour. Okay, so I'm going to start actually with this colour. I'm just grabbing my booklet because it's actually yellow. It's 108 and it is called it's dark cadmium yellow, so it's going to be too pale, but that's okay. I'm going to give it a sharpen, and I'm going to go over all of the skin and flesh of the orange with it very lightly. It's just going to act as a base. I feel that it's quite a vibrant colour fruit, obviously, and I'm going to add a vibrancy underneath my orange because my Polychromos orange, I'm not going to be able to mimic that colour exactly. So I'm going to do that. I'm still slightly panicking looking at the flowers, but we'll pretend that's okay. So there we go. Now with the inside of our orange, looking at the picture, we've got a white centre and a white edge. So this bit is white, but this bit isn't. We have got some white on it, but we're going to, on the lines and things, we'll worry about those after. And what's interesting is we've got a tiny orange line on the edge of the skin and then a white gap. What I think I'm going to do is make that the orange skin and this big bit the white gap. But look at the white gap, it's not white. This centre looks whiter, but there's some colour in there, there's some yellow. So I'm going to actually colour that in really lightly, but once we add our layers of orange, we won't add any to this bit and it will look lighter. I might just put a tad there. We'll do the same here, so we'll actually make this bit darker. Don't press too hard because you want to put other colours down as well. So there's our initial bits. A little bit messy, it's just a base. It's certainly not orange, but that's fine. That's not what I was expecting. Ooh, my pencil's run away. So next I'm going to build up a layer. I'm going to use my dark chrome yellow. You can see this is a lot more orangey, and I'm going to pop this on top of certain areas, probably most of it. So here, this bit doesn't look like any of the things in the picture, but it would be darker at the bottom and a bit lighter coming up towards the top. so I might just cover this bottom area and leave the top a bit lighter, although I haven't gone all the way to the edge there, so I might need a bit more. I'm not going to build up too many layers though, because I need space in the tooth of the paper for the darker colour. And then we go in here. The joy of this book, because the images are small, you can take your time and still achieve, you know, you can finish a little image in not too much time, but you can spend a bit of time paying attention to detail, I think. I feel, for me, it feels like I feel more encouraged to spend time on each one. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just being a bit weird. Now we've got this shine here, look. I might put it here. So I'm going to colour this side a little bit more and around there, then sort of try and leave that bit a little bit paler. We'll work on that more as we build up our layers of colour. There we go. So next we're going to grab our next orange. You can see we're getting more orangey. Oh, I haven't done the flesh. Hold on. Sorry, back to the dark chrome yellow. Sorry, confused. And we're going to do the outside again of that bit and this bit, but we're not going to do that bit or that bit now. I'm going to leave those. If they look a bit scruffy, which mine do, I'll go over them in that lighter colour. There we go. So sorry, now we're going on to the cadmium orange. We've actually got an orange now. And we're going to work again, start down here. Start layering up and fading a bit. So I'm leaving it a bit lighter up here. It isn't, as I say, there isn't one in the here, so we're sort of guessing a bit. But here, see, I think these dots that Johanna has drawn on aren't actually the texture of the orange as much as the shadow, but that's okay. I'm not going to be able to, I'm not intending on drawing in the texture, so I'm remembering to leave this bit a bit lighter to get that sort of shine area. I've gone over the edge of the flower. Never mind. So that is, it's coming. You can see it's definitely getting orangier, and this fleshy bit. Like that, just gentle, fun colour. There we go. And now I'm not going to use the orange glaze because it's quite a different tone of orange. I'm going to use this is the dark cadmium orange, and I think I'm thinking, see here where it's quite dark, that bit might be, you know, it might be that sort of colour, although that looks quite red, doesn't it? I'm thinking there might be a bit of shadow just there. Going under here for a bit of shadow, but not taking it all the way up, just like that. So we can see the difference between here and here with the shadow down there. I can do similar thing with this one. So just nearer to the bottom here. Because it's interesting in this photo that the shadow is actually red. Sometimes shadows are grey, but in this picture the shadows are red. So I can put a little bit up here and around here just to try and emphasise our shiny area. You can draw shine on with a white pen as well, but sometimes it's easier to just leave it a bit, then leave a bit. Okay, I'm now thinking about our flesh. I think we need to darken that a little bit. I'm not doing it too hard. Now if we think about the orange an orange when you eat one. When you cut one, these bits, it's quite hard to see in this picture, there are lines, aren't there? If you think about the way the flesh is organised, there are lines. I'm going to use this colour to draw those in a little bit. That's why I left that a bit scruffy. So I'm just going to sort of put in some lines. It's beginning to look a little bit more like an orange. I was going to say like Christmas, beginning to look a bit like Christmas. She's going slightly mad, but don't worry, it's quite normal, everyone's used to it. Now I'm going to just intensify in here. So I'm layering up, you can see it's getting darker. I'm just sort of trying to replicate that shadow there. There we are. Now, I'm going to leave that for now. I'm thinking, do I want to white over these areas or not? If I white over a little bit, I have to white it all. What do I do with the white flowers if I white it? I've got no idea. So we're going to do the leaves, and we're going to forget about that for a minute. Just step away and have a think. So our leaves here, I'm thinking permanent green olive looks quite a similar colour. Yeah. So I'm going to give him a sharpen. Been using him a lot lately. And we'll do this sort of, the stem bit looks quite pale and the top of the leaf compared to the bottom, can you see there? So what I'm going to do is press quite lightly on the stem and put more colour on the bottoms of these leaves compared with the top. Like that. We're going to add another colour on top, just one. It's not going to be too tricky. Like that. Now, these aren't drawn in a photorealistic way, and that's not what I'm going for at all. You know, photorealism is a really difficult thing to achieve, and these photos are just small, slightly blurred images. They're blurred because of the way I cropped them and printed them. So, you know, you're not going to get an absolutely perfect looking. I think if you wanted it to look photorealistic like that, you would have to trace that and then copy it exactly. We're using a slightly different image, so we're not going to get it looking identical. But I'm feeling really happy that you look at that, you're going to go, that's an orange, you know? I think it would be obvious from the drawing, to be honest. Johanna knows how to draw. But, you know, I'm hoping that people go, yeah, that's coloured like an orange. So there is the initial part of the leaves. And I'm going to use the earth green yellowish to do the lighter bits. Just give it a sharpen. My pen's got very blunt. There it is, earth green yellowish. I was colouring with these olive greens a lot last couple of days. I've been doing a picture from Maria Trolle's Doom Rice. It's called Rise, like book, and I had such fun. I'm going to do the stem now. It was a really lovely image. I've posted it. I don't know. I don't know whether it's probably, it might have either gone out or a few days. It'll be on my Instagram or on my Facebook. But the sort of treehousey picture, it's lovely. I had a lot of fun. Okay. Right. There we go. Now I'm going to get an eraser. Oops. And get rid of the orange on this petal as much as I can. There we go. Right, now centres of the flowers first are easier. It's really hard to see in this picture, but I'm pretty sure they were a sort of pale lemony yellow. So I'm actually going to use this yellow. This is the light yellow glaze. I think it might work, show up enough. There we go. It was quite subtle. Now, how do we colour the white? Well, I'm not an expert on colouring white by any sense, but I understand that you can use either creams or greys or very pale greens. Now with the polys, we don't have a huge mix, but I'm going to use the, do I want the warm grey or the cold grey? I think I'm going to use the warm grey one and see what happens. So I'm looking at the petals. I can't really copy this one, it's too blurred. And we've got a line down the middle. I'm thinking maybe it would be dipped in there and there'd be a bit of shadow that I need to just fill in, oops, in the centre. That's what I'm wondering. And then it will look like it's slightly dipped in the leaf. There's a bit of shadow in it. I can just about see it. Now what a lot of people do to help them with white is outline it in a white pen. That's all fine if you're outlining the whole of your page in white pen. If you're just doing this little bit, I think it'd look a bit strange. So I'm just going to persevere with this. And I'm also now going to get a white because our paper isn't white. So if I use my white pencil, I'm going to try my Polychromos white, but it's not the best white on earth. And I'm going to try and do the rest of the petal in white. Now, be very careful here, because if you colour over the black line in white, you will see that you've coloured it over. And we haven't coloured over any of the other black lines in white. It's going to look a little bit strange. Like when we coloured over that, it's changed colour. So just do your best. Now it's not the best white flower tutorial. I have been asked to do them. I'm not, you know, I haven't perfected this, practiced it very much. It's just a little idea. I think the best way to do white is to have a background and then the white shows up, but I wasn't intending on doing a background here. I'm still trying to decide whether to do some white pen on these. It would look more realistic, but we might have to do white everywhere. Should we try it? I keep finding glitter pens. I don't think I want a glitter pen. What I want is a Jelly Roll 8, and I keep finding 10s and 5s. There it is, Jelly Roll 8. So I'm going to use this, and we're going to do, I'm going to white out this, and then put a few lines in the fleshy bit like that. We'll also white this bit out. I've noticed that I've covered that in orange when it should be white. I'm going to white it out. So if we put a few lines in, they look like shine. You can see the flesh here is shining, but we're not taking the lines away completely, so we can still see those segments. And I'm not going to do the edge, so I'm going to leave that line there. There we go. And I could take that line out too, because it doesn't exist in our picture over here. So let's take that, and you could take the outside line and all the black lines out if you wish, but I'm not really feeling it. So we're going to do this one the same way. Just take out those lines. I don't really like taking out Johanna's lines. I don't know why. I feel like it feels slightly disrespectful, like she's drawn them, why am I deleting them? But on the other hand, we're just getting an effect. There, we need to do that middle as well. There we go. Now I'm thinking that here, where we want that shine, we could put a few dots, because there are dots. Can you see them there? Put a few dots here. Oh, we need to take that line out. And then I think I might make that too. Have a look. See, if we take out the edge of the flower now, it will just disappear into the paper, so you can't do that unless you've got a background. Okay, but what I can do is put a few dots around the centre because I think that looks a bit prettier. I don't even know if you can see it. Okay, now a little bit that I have missed out that I feel I need to do is, let me point with my eraser, the centre part here, where this stalk comes into the orange, there would be a little bit of shadow and we haven't put that in. So I'm going to put that in now. I'm going to use my dark sepia, so we're actually going to add a little bit of brown just in the gap here where Johanna's drawn us a line. I'm just going to draw a little bit upwards of the line. I don't know if you could, hopefully you could see what I was doing. And I'm also just going to use this to produce a small shadow line here and here, and then where the leaves are and petals are overlapping, just to give it a slight shadow effect there. Now there would probably, if we look at this one, there's a shadow here from that bit of branch. Can you see there? So really there might be some shadow here and here from this or this. So you could potentially draw, but we have to think about where's the light coming from, which direction would the shadow be. At the moment our shadows are really just like we're looking, I suppose, here. So the light's coming here, it's hitting it here. So that shadow might be sort of there, maybe, or there. I'm not really sure. It might, I mean, that one's there. I don't really know where it would be. So I think maybe it would be here. I'm not going to draw it in because I'm not confident as to where it would be. What I am going to do is just try and give our orange a slight curve by adding a tiny bit of this sepia on the edge. I'm hoping that it's not going to look like I've done much, that you're not going to see a line of brown. Do the same on this one, particularly on the lighter bits, trying to press quite lightly. There'll be a darker shadow there. There we go. Okay, I think I'm going to stop fiddling. I'm going to remove my guide picture and then just put that in the middle so you can see it straight and finished. Come in a little closer. So there is our orange. So I enjoyed that. I hope that was useful for you. And I've got a picture of every other fruit on this page. I've got all sorts of different pictures to copy. So if you join me for the rest of the series, I will just sort of talk you through how I choose my colours and copy the different fruits and things. So that's me for today. So thank you for watching. I hope you have a really good day and happy colouring.